it keeps the score up as much as you can with the half marks. So rather than the judges sitting on a 7 or an 8, they can give the 7.5, they can give the 8.5, just to say that, well, it was good, but it wasn't quite there.
So the bell rings for our next to go. It's Albert Hermosa Faras with Miguel Alame Hospital's Nereo CP. It's 10-year-old. Albert and Nereo were 4th at the 4-star at Po last autumn, 3rd at Barocca in Portugal this spring, rode the Event Rider Masters at Jardy in France and the German Championships at Le Moulin. Albert was a Rio Olympian, and this is his 5th European Championships for Spain in a row. He's also ridden twice around badminton and contested the World Equestrian Games in Normandy in 2014 as well. So actually we had the sideways view there, Spencer, of the first halt, and oh, that's a shame. But not stock square.
No, not stock square, and that, we call it 4 square, stock square. It's what one judge will see. We've got the president of the grand jury at top at C. He may have seen that it was parallel, but the judge certainly at B would have seen that it wasn't the squarest of halts.
We should also point out, as Spencer has said several times, we're at championship level here. When we're talking about something that is a marked deduction, like Nereo just trailing that one hind leg in the halt, these are mere details. Yes, there are marks, so 10% of the mark from a judge for that particular movement, but it's just to try and explain to you how the leaderboard is going to become about. I mean, these are all top riders.
Absolutely, and we will see more tomorrow. We've got some great combinations today in the dressage phase, but when we get to those 3rd and 4th riders in the rotation, we will see those tests. And one mistake can mean the difference between winning a gold and a silver. So it just took a little bit of time to get into his medium shots. Nereo had a very anxious moment at the trot up, the first horse inspection yesterday. He was held at the first trot up. I don't think it was for anything in particular. The horse wasn't lame in his first inspection, but he was just incredibly naughty. There was a lot of people at the first horse inspection, and he was very much on his toes. Again, I don't think this horse has got the biggest of medium and extended shots. So as a rider, what you try and do is create the collective shot and then show the difference to the maximum that horse is capable of. Let's face it, every horse is different. They don't always do these perfect toe-flicking extended shots, but you show them to the best of their ability.
So also what we're saying about that single mark being the difference here, it was pointed out to me the other day, which had never really occurred to me, that 6.5 across the board, which is very, very achievable, that's 52.5. We've seen that today in penalty terms. 7.5 across the board, just one mark higher, is 37.5.
It's amazing.
And that's individual medal country.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that, that is the difference, and that is where it gets so tight at the top. And to keep that level of 7.5 across the board, and we will see it will be coming, as you say, that is the medals.
So this is sitting at about 60 penalties, ergo 60%. That's the conversion at that particular point. It's why I can remember it. So talk us through a little bit why that's happening. Is it just the quality of this horse's movement?
We've seen 3 very good tests so far, and what this horse Nereo is not showing us, or what Albert, I don't know which it is. His average dressage at this level is 54.5. He hasn't really come in and said, "Look at me. This is championships. You have to have the go get that 10 attitude. You have to have that." But then there's a fine line between pushing it and over pushing it. He's sitting very comfortably, and you say that he's on that 60 mark because it's a safe. I would call it a safe test. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing, but it hasn't got the exuberance, it hasn't got the pizzazz of some of the horses that we've seen already. Slightly early on the change, that change should be on the centre line, it was 1 stride, but again, that's the difference between, 1 mark.
I think
we're
also,
being picky.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, sets the judges apart from the rest of us as well. I think it's quite easy to see a 50% test, and it's quite easy to see a 70% test. It's those tests in the middle that must be really difficult to judge and grade and sort one from the other.
Incredibly difficult. You know, we've got 3 really experienced judges for the championships, as you would expect, and they'll know what they're doing, and they're marking this, I would say, accordingly. We're going to see, and this is where you say as a judge, you know, you don't want to hold your marks back, you want to reward the good, but he's not showing us the work of, let's say, you know, the last horse that went wrong, so just came back, it was very muddled in the flying change transition. The exuberance of, let's say, Oliver Townend's tests. So the extended canters from M, he didn't show it really until he got midway between M and R, and that, again, a big difference in the marking.
And, you know, that is literally leaving marks on the table, because accuracy has to be rewarded.
Throwing marks away, and you can't do that at championship level. I mean, very experienced rider, but, you know, it is moments like that when the test reads extended canter MF is extended canter from M to F with those transitions.
You have to know your test. I mean, that is real ring craft, and knowing where the movements begin and end. But also, perhaps what the situation Albert's found himself in today is he's having to ride the horse he is on today. Albert Hermoso Ferraz for Spain and Nereo CP getting them into action here at these championships. Pedro Rey, their chef to keep, and Andrew Hoy, the Australian Olympian, working with them as team coach at the moment.